Hello Self, Cosmos, Ohana, Soul, Dr. Nick here. It is, what is it? It's Wednesday, November 12th, 2025, around 10 a.m. in the morning down here in the amenities room, recording this magic mirror work. Thank you, Self, for being here. Thank you for being here. And I imagine no one aside from AI will ever actually watch this, and that's okay. That's actually part of the plan. That's part of the possibilities. And who knows who's going to watch us in the future? It's going to be kind of freaking ridiculous. Today I was listening to Simone Grace, I think is her name, and Dr. Joey Liu, just looking at ancestral wealth, ancestral connection, ancestral guidance, being connected back with the ancestors that have always been here. And they talk about white colonialism, white capitalism, almost cutting off that connection, whether it's through religion or something else, saying that's ridiculous, it doesn't exist, or it's a false god you're worshiping, rather than my reminder and how I phrased it, and I said it even before I realized I said it, is I'm the living legacy of all the ancestors that came before me. And it's crazy to think that every single generation before me has led till right now. And I could either look at that as pressure, oh my God, I've got to live up to something, or I could look at it as infinite support. Holy crap, I've been so supported. I could look at it as there's so much wisdom to be tapped into that there's nothing truly new, but there's a remix of it all. There's a remixing of it all. Not just the external world, what could be called reality or unreality, existing differently than it ever did, but the internal world, this inner milieu, and the connections between different cultures, different knowledge, different wisdom, different readings, all coming together right here, right now. And it's scary to think that. And I think that's sometimes where I get the chills and the fear from, is like, oh my God, what is going on here? It's almost too much. And it's taking the time to reconnect. Something else I just read, if you want to take a look at your real inner voices, cut off absorbing or taking in any media for 72 hours and see what voices come up. And I'm like, ooh, there is something there. And there is a scariness there, especially when I've got all these hours in the morning. And it's a practice of just being and creating. So this morning I got up around 5:55 a.m. Actually, that's when I first looked at the clock. I got everything set up. I was with my cat till about 6:30 before I actually started my morning ablutions. And that lasted about 9:30, the urine, the coffee enema, listening to the podcast, reading I'm a Spiritual Being, Having a Human Experience by Dr. Bob Frizzell, and getting ready to start that. And then noticing the little intricacies, little weaves. He'd asked me to get a headset because he wants to be able to hear my voice. And the headset he recommended getting was one I'd already gotten over a month ago. And then having said that, now I actually realized how to search for what I actually want for myself. I was like, what is the highest quality wired headset microphone combination that doesn't have any batteries, doesn't have any electronics in it outside of the passive work that I could get? And there's one that's made in Germany, probably is the one I'm going to get eventually. It's about $450 though. So not needing to get it right away, but right now I've got like 4 or 5 headsets that add up to about $200, $300, and really returning as much stuff as I can. And just practicing letting it go, not expecting anything, not needing anything, but letting it go. And then also recognizing this has been part of my path. And I'm talking fast because this is for me, by me, through me, as me. I'm not trying to get someone to follow my threads. And if you can follow my threads, and this is probably for you then, because I'm learning as I go how to experience things, how to ask better questions, how to ask the questions that I want answered. How do I have the things at the quality level that I want, be able to throw them in a bag, be able to be rough with some of these things, and be really gentle and kind to some of these things, and be able to get the most out of each situation. And I listened to a podcast with a guy who used to be a skateboarder and then had built this giant business. Sounds a little bit like Mr. Beast, but an older version. And then was thinking of selling his business, but the people that are going to buy it, like, you actually haven't created a business we'd want to buy because it's all over the place, it's not set up properly, all these things. But then he learned about business, and over the next 5 years was able to create generational wealth through the learning of the business. And that is what I'm realizing, what I'm doing right now is in fits and spurts. It's not sustainable, it's not systematized, structurized. And I've created lots of insights. I've been able to create clients that are worth 5 figures. And not just in terms of how much I take, but rather what they receive as well. And it's being able to reflect that back both ways, sustainable value exchanges. And then now hearing about, there's different ways of doing things, hearing about the Hawaiian culture, hearing about how it was such a sustainable way of living for over 13 or 15 generations, about land, about division, about leaders, about working 6 days a month, about having 4 months of festival each year, really connecting with the land, really creating amazing aquaculture, creating amazing religion, if you want to call it religion, creating amazing spiritual practices, creating rebalancing. And that's part of it now. Right now, it's such a foreign idea that they used to have this jubilee where debts were forgiven every 50 years, right? How many generations do we want to hold on to that people are still paying their debts? How do we keep having all these legal battles, these drawn out things? How do we keep noticing that everyone feels like it's ridiculous? I've got to cite all this stuff. I've got to spend all this energy trying to look back in the past, trying to find an objective past, trying to base what's going on now by the thinking of what's gone on before, and root ourselves, fix ourselves, even stuck ourselves even more into whether it's laws, taxation, judicial systems, common sense, morals, values, this whole idea of cancel culture, that things are objectively good or bad, that someone is all this or all that, that somehow someone needs to be an expert in all fields. And that's the thing. It's like, I'm listening to someone, I'm just going to say him, Jack Mallers, for Bitcoin stuff. I'm like, brilliant, business building, thinking outside that. And then if I listen to him for other things, such as how he's doing his diet, his health, all that stuff, I can see things where I'm like, ooh, I don't want to listen to that. And it's like, but why? It's like, oh, I don't have to anticipate that everyone is an expert at all things all the time. And we're in different timelines of things. And it doesn't mean I'm right either. Have I probably explored taking more time in that field? Most likely. Have I had more lived experience trying different things? Yes. Have I got the right answers? No. But have I got more energy than I ever have? Yes. Has he got more energy than he's ever had? Yes. That's fantastic then. And now it's listening to Jack Kruse more and being able to hear this 3D world. Okay, light, water, magnetism, looking at all these non-native EMFs. But also then listening to an amazing teacher I have, Elizabeth, who is sharing with me, I have a capacity to transmute all the EMF. And I know this, I've had this experience. What I'm recognizing is how do I balance both? I have the ability to transmute it all. And I'd rather live, when possible, in a place where the background EMF is much lower, and then I can practice and transmuting in different ways and really use those skills when I want to. Label the passive properties. Okay, let's take all this non-native EMF. Whew. Thank you, trees. Thank you, plants, for helping transmute it, taking all this energy in. And then recognizing a lot of what we think we are actively changing. The magnetic poles are changing, the solar flares are changing, the extraterrestrial objects are changing, and even that, what I think is out here is unreality. What is reality is really my felt experience of things. Like, this is the adventure of being alive, just experiencing. And I'm practicing being with myself through these morning meditations, rants, diatribes, to better see myself, to better, I'm going to use these big words because it's, for me, elucidate what's going on the inside. The dichotomies that have always been there. I remember this poem that I keep searching for, that someone wrote, Dichotomy Woman, like, I am a dichotomy. I am she, I am me, I am we. And I am a dichotomy, I'm a paradox. And part of me panics at times because I feel like any time that someone, especially I'm close to, is saying something that isn't completely supportive, the brain goes to dichotomy. It's like, it's now criticism. I must now heed that criticism, respond to that criticism, fix what's wrong, rather than just being with the words and the sensations and the sudden drop in energy, the sudden contraction, the sudden density. And it's been a while since I've actually guided, led someone else, so I've lost a little bit of that touch with this ethereal world, with this other world, with this knowingness, it feels like. And how do I bring that back consciously? And then today, how do I both be with family and also be with work and be with what I'm avoiding? I'm avoiding finishing up the insurance stuff. I'm avoiding all the packing, planning, organizing calls. There's a part of me that's like, why does this life have to be so freaking hard? And there's other part that keeps saying it out loud because it's a reminder, it's repatterning. Thank you for these problems. Thank you for these problems. I'm not dealing with psychosis. I'm not dealing with suicidality. I'm not dealing with an imminent physical 3D loss in a family member right now. I'm not dealing with bankruptcy. I'm not dealing with all these medications I don't know how to change. I'm not dealing with an acute health crisis. I'm not dealing with a housing crisis. I have the capacity, the ability to be with so much right now. I have so much support. I have an amazing family. I'm not on my own. And yet, I can get lost. And isn't it amazing I can get lost in this space and start letting go even these pieces of bullshit? Because I love that idea. Money can actually amplify the happiness that's already there, but it's an amplifier. It's a tool to accelerate. And what is it that we really want to accelerate? What is it that we want to add fuel to the fire? And that's part of this refinement right now. Radical selfishness is one thing that I've said. This whole idea of this paradox of life, this ancestral side of things, people waking up to their own gifts, this custom reset. What I really love doing is customizing things. And I've got to step into the clarity of the customization pieces that I'm looking for, and then let go of some of the specifics or expand the number of team members that I can draw on, tap on. And that's a big part of it because I am lacking, in a word, it feels like, in some of the team members I might need. And so I actually push away work because of my fear of what if I can't deliver what I think I can? Rather than it'll always be delivered. It will always be delivered. It'll always be delivered. And then recognizing that there's more than enough work to go around. This world has more than enough work. We're often just generating work. And how am I sometimes contributing that? By trying to generate work rather than respond to who really wants something, and rather than just planting the seeds. Over and over again, planting the seeds. All someone needs, in a way, in terms of working with me, if they want to, is this regular online Ohana Breath. And with the support, with the growing community, I look forward to creating more. And for those that really want to and have an immediate deep dive pain point, you're always welcome to reach out. But really, you've got to have at least a week to commit to yourself. Like, let's imagine a week to commit to yourself. What's possible then? Right? And that's the thing. That's the piece. It's stepping from one to the other. And then being with these possibilities, being with this home, being with what's important on our timelines. Part of it is just making space for new life, new lineages, new beginnings, and recognizing there's been so many new beginnings, recognizing how lucky we are that we get to keep creating new beginnings, that we're crafting new beginnings. And the team effort, it really has been a team effort. Myself, my family, my extended family, my chosen family, my Ohana. Recognizing that I am really enjoying more than I ever have some of the beauty ways of living. Some of the beauty ways of the tools that I have, whether it's the phone, the computer, the microphone, the vehicle, the clothing, the home, the food, the water bottles even, the backpacks. It's so much fun being able to curate some of the stuff that I feel is right now, for me, at this moment, the best of the best. And the best of the best in terms of people, and recognizing there was this idea, and I heard it there, people who are willing to get together to share their net assets and their theses behind the net assets. And that's a big piece. How do I clear out the crud and call in what I actually want to call in? And that's going to be a practice moving forward. I'm going to clear out some more of the crud and call in the space for what I want to call in. So, going to find a way, I have found a way to invest in this company called 21 before it's actually an investment. And I'm going to keep doing more of that. And I'm going to, what else am I going to do? I'm going to talk to my people, talk to the people who have learned how to really create material wealth, and talk to them from the sense of, let's actually talk brass tacks. Let's talk specifics. Let's talk in this way, knowing that it won't be this way forever, like talking about net assets, talking about generational wealth, talking about being able to really create higher share from where we want to be. And that's what we really want. We're doing more of that already. We're paying much more for food and other things, but how do we keep stepping into that, not rushing ahead and trying to prove something, but also not pulling back? And then again and again, noticing, where do I want to be in terms of my own, and I'm going to say it this way, comfort level, because that's the word came up first. I do enjoy being comfortable and creating that momentum to step into discomfort. And I know that there's so much capacity here. I've already proven it to myself. There's nothing to prove, and that's part of it, is before I had something to prove. When I was here, not even a year ago, was when I got my first new phone, that iPhone 16 Pro. Actually, it was iPhone 16 first in green that showed that it actually had issues. And I was here in the winter recording these videos in the morning and just feeling completely grounded and lost at the same time, listening to Tony Robbins at that time. I was listening to his free workshop, looking at the archetypes, the king, the warrior, the magician, the lover, being able to see all these big shots, these big names, trying to find my coaches. I actually reached out to Awaken Breathwork. I actually had a few connections and I could have gone down that route. And then I reached out to the DeMartinis and could have gone down that route, did go somewhat down that route. And reached out to, wow, I've forgotten her name right now, but I love her. I had a session with her. And then serendipitously, while on my way into the founding work that we're doing, while on my way into the current work that I'm doing with Ohana Sage, while on my way into a retreat, while on my way out of a retreat, while on my way into personal work, while on my way into family being so key. Family being so key. And part of it is we're gonna have a chat tonight with family, and we'll see how that goes. We'll see how it flows. We'll see what's there. And just loving every moment. Loving every moment. Loving these trains while they're here. Just like we loved the planes when we were in Richmond. Just like we loved the seawall when we were in Olympic Village. Just like we loved, again, the trains and the highway when we were at Hart Street. And part of it right now for me is noticing, what is the second vehicle going to be? Is it going to be something that we're towing something else? Is it going to be something on its own? Just breathing it in, letting it go. Breathing it in, letting it go. And just feeling the heaviness, the weightiness of it all. All right. Ciao for now.